Well, it depends on the perspective. You can have different driving forces for South Atlantic countries as Brazil, as Angola, as South Africa, as Cape Verde, as Morocco. And you can have different perspective from North country. The challenge is to converge, to make converge those different standpoints, but I do not believe that you have the same driving force. For South Atlantic countries, as ZOPACA is an organization. ZOPACA is a Portuguese acronym to say how it is in English, South Atlantic Peace and Cooperation. And ZOPACAs recently put forward 4 or 5 issues as being the main topics for South Atlantic countries. And it is security, defense, maritime safety. It is also about fighting criminals and drug trafficking, but it is also about cooperation on oceanography, on fishing. It's about air transportation, sea transportation, even exploration of seabed. So you see that for South Atlantic countries, it's much more holistic. It's not only about defense and security. I believe that just now, I do not know, but I sense that there is some kind of resistance in the Brazilian side because they do not know much about this initiative. That's why engaging, discussing with all those countries is very important. But it's not only Brazil. You have other countries in the African side that can have problems, and perhaps the idea is not fully explained. And before all, they need to work together in the South. As it was said in one of the panel, they need to discuss together South Atlantic countries because you can have difference between African countries and South American countries, and you can have difference of point of view among African countries also. So we are in a process of building something that can, a common ground that can move us forward. But Brazilian, just now, what I sense is that they have, they are wondering what it's about. Yes, I believe that South African countries have a big role to play because one part of the South Atlantic is African coast. So they must and they need to be part of it because when we see this agenda of ZOPACAs, we see that exploration of seabed, air transportation, sea transportation, and security, and the issue of drug trafficking that is coming from South America through Africa to go to Europe. It's a real challenge also for these African states. So African states are much more, must be interested to discuss this issue. But it's not only an issue for African states, it's an issue for regional organization in Africa. And you have Southern Organization, Central Africa Organization, and you have West Africa and North Africa. So it's a question of South states, but also of regional organization. And we also, I believe also that we must have civil society in this process. We cannot do this only at state level.